I'm sure you've heard this before. Hell Let Loose is one of the most immersive, intense, realistic games on the market. Yes, as a 30-year-old man who has never been in a war zone and knows the bare minimum about history, I can confirm this. But what Team 17 just pulled with their new update is absolutely beautiful. Night maps. I can't even begin to describe how wonderful this update is, and I realize I probably sound and will continue to sound like an infatuated teenage girl talking about her new crush, but I don't even really care. This update deserves to be fawned over a bit. Thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Tacti, and Human Psychology says I should tell you that I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so you should subscribe, but that's annoying and people don't want to hear that, so I'm definitely not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to tell you all about the Hell Let Loose update, and in my opinion, it's one of the best things to happen to Hell Let Loose in quite a while. Obviously, with the name Falling Dark, we've got some night maps in the game now, and they're crazy because they add an entirely new dynamic to the maps, and it makes these maps something that suits my playstyle a little bit more. Now, normally with Hell Let Loose, or at least how Hell Let Loose has been, the general gameplay loop is you run long distances, you shoot at enemies far, far away, and then you die from far, far away. At least, with most of the maps. Wide open spaces like Foy and Purple Heart Lane were maps that I would just try to avoid because I really didn't feel like pixel popping at the time. Not only that, but players have a huge, and I mean a huge benefit if they're able to run the game on 1440p resolution. I didn't realize how dramatic this was until I actually grabbed myself a 1440p monitor instead of a 1080p one, and wow, I mean, the difference is incredible. The ability to see people from further distances was upgraded big time, so I guess you could kind of say it's pay to win, but that's just the nature of the game. However, with these night maps, they slightly changed this a little bit. They sort of leveled the playing field. Not that people are easy to spot or anything like that, but engagements now are much, much closer. The dense fog and moonlight force you to move slower and get a little bit closer to your enemies before you pop them.
Attack to get him.
There, my gosh!
Yeah!
Or slice them. And this to me is a lot more fun. My favorite maps before were maps like Carrington, where you're moving down the streets and alleys and through buildings, so your engagements there are a little bit closer. And for me personally, that makes the night maps that are bigger and more open much more fun. Now, unfortunately, not all maps have a night version of their map, only the 5 you see on the screen right now, but I would love to see these night maps come to all of them. I'd love to be walking down a nighttime Carrington. It'd be interesting to see how the shadows affect things and if you can hide in the dark spots, but either way, that would be awesome. And as an addition to these maps, flares have been added to the game. Unfortunately, unlike my imagination, these are more like UAVs. I was really hoping for some areas of the map that would be so dark that these flares would light up the place a little bit more, but sadly, that's just not the case. I'm sure that that's really hard on performance, but regardless, these flares really help out. These flares are available if you're a spotter on the sniper squad, and now you'll get these at level 3. A little bit of change here. The default, if you're a spotter on the sniper squad, you now have an ammo crate, so you can keep resupplying your sniper when he's missed all his shots. I'm re-recording this so I can get the full German effect. You've got to try this out on the new map Remagen. How was that? To describe this map, it's basically a meat grinder. Picture something like Operation Locker, and then make it bloodier. And then add tanks. Yeah, that's Remagen. You've got one bridge on the entire map and everybody's got to cross it. But one of the good things about this, if you're a sniper anyway, if you're a well-polished sniper, you can just sit on your side of the bridge and hit 400 plus meter shots just to prevent the enemy from advancing to the bridge. Not that that's super effective or anything, but it's extra fun. I enjoyed the new map, but personally it's probably not something that I see myself wanting to play very often. There's a little walkway underneath the bridge as well to keep you from those enemy vehicles, but it's still deadly, and you better hope that a skilled MG or sniper aren't watching you from the enemy side, because there's not a lot of cover down there. A fun map though, and it's great if you want instant action coupled with instant death. Okay, now for something a bit smaller and pretty inconsequential to gameplay. Hell Let Loose just added the mechanic of weapon slings, meaning if your character is not using his primary weapon, whether that's because he's healing someone or he's pulled out a grenade, you're going to be able to see it on his back, just like this. While this does very little for gameplay, I love things like this because it shows not only the attention to detail, but also the willingness to expend resources in order to go outside the scope of gameplay mechanics and make something special. And when I say video games are a form of art, this is what I mean. Alright, now on to the rest of the smaller tweaks and changes and additions. A new US medium tank added. They added an MG to the half-track mobile spawn point. They re-implemented the German Panther tank with updated smart materials. They added new camos to other tanks. And then they've also added new commander abilities. I haven't noticed them a whole lot during gameplay, but I also haven't had a whole lot of time to play. I did see a precision airstrike used on a tank, and that was a very effective way to use that airstrike. But those other ones, I haven't seen much of yet. A few gameplay changes here. Vehicle wrecks can now be destroyed, otherwise they're just kind of left there. Just as a side note here on Remagen, tanks and vehicles have a very hard time crossing the bridge because of the train tracks themselves. And when you've got vehicles in the way here that are blown up but not fully destroyed, that's going to make it even harder to traverse. So if you're really getting a good push in, you're going to want to destroy these if you want your vehicles to go across. Or if you're getting pushed pretty hard, you can keep them on the road as a minor roadblock. The enemy obviously can destroy these, but it at least slows them down a little bit. Plus you've got a little bit more cover. Just slows down their advance. Another minor thing, but also something very important, reloads are going to be interrupted now. So they're going to be implementing stage reloads. And this could leave you without a mag if you start moving too quickly before your reload is finished, or something else happens, you change your weapon, something like that. You could be in big trouble if you run into the enemy. And then a whole list of other settings changes and new challenges and new cosmetics, you know, the typical things. All in all, though, it's an incredible update that makes this World War II shooter feel way less of a running simulator. For most, anyway. Now, I know nowadays people are pretty hesitant to pick up any World War II shooter. The genre has been done and done and done a million times, so it can be a dull experience for some. Not only that, but people really like their modern shooters, mostly because they come with all the attachments and customization, and most importantly, the optics. Pixel popping can be very annoying for some people, I get it. I can see the hesitancy. But with what this game lacks in all those things, it makes up for with atmosphere. And these night maps, in my opinion, make an incredible experience that as of now tops any other night experience I've had, even in modern shooters like Sandstorm. Everything feels like it's done right. I don't really like World War II shooters, and I love this game. So if you want to pick it up, I'll link that down below so you can grab it. I'll try to get a gameplay video up this week, but who knows, man. We've got the Marauders beta here today, so I'm going to be trying that out. Just got a lot going on this week, but who knows. Thanks for watching, gamers. If you're still here, you are a true hero. Like the video if you like it, subscribe if you want more of this, and until the next one, be bold, be courageous, stay tactical.